Welcome back. Tensions continue to rise between China and Taiwan. Taiwan forced to deploy its Air Force yesterday in an effort to drive back 27 Chinese aircraft that entered its air defense space once again. This comes on the heels of a three-day meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and his top generals. Joining me right now is the Heritage Foundation Senior Research Fellow for Asian Studies Center, Dean Cheng. Dean, great to have you. Thanks very much. How would you assess what's taking place in Taiwan between Taiwan and China right now?
Well, tensions clearly are rising, and part of it is the Chinese are trying to signal the United States to back off and stop supporting Taiwan, which is a long-standing Chinese goal. But when Beijing looks around the world, it's starting to see European and other countries also giving Taiwan a little more diplomatic room, especially Lithuania, who is apparently going to open a diplomatic office in Taipei. From Beijing's perspective, the real nightmare is a preference cascade. If a number of countries started basically saying, hey, you know what, here's this democracy, here's this beleaguered island, we should show more support, especially because China has been such a bad actor.
Yeah, it's been such a bad actor, but it feels to me that it's just allowed to continue to be a bad actor. Right, Dean? I mean, let's face it, they're bullying their neighbors in the South China Sea. They've gone into Hong Kong and thrown freedom fighters in jail and started laying the Communist Party line down in Hong Kong. They've invaded India using 2020 as an opportunity to gain more land. And then you've got the World Health Organization bending backwards to China once again, jumping over the Greek letters XY. Xi is how it's pronounced, but of course it's spelt the same way as Xi Jinping spells his name when naming the Omicron COVID variant. The World Health Organization says the decision it was made to name it Omicron. Your thoughts on why this decision provides more evidence that the agency is scared of the CCP? What do you think?
The World Health Organization, frankly, is embarrassing. I mean, when they were launching an investigation into the origins of COVID, they rejected any possibility of Chinese labs having anything to do with it, but accepted a report that suggested that this might have been caused by frozen food. We know that the Chinese basically kept the WHO out in the key initial weeks of this virus. And at this point, when China is claiming that it's had only something like 40 or 50,000 confirmed cases of COVID and deaths that are impossibly low. These are the statistics that they provide the WHO, and the WHO doesn't even bat an eye. And now to say that, you know, oh, we're skipping over XI, but it has nothing to do with the leadership in China, it strains credulity.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you've got Enes Kanter from the NBA showing real moral courage by calling out China, calling out the CCP. He's changing his name now to Enes Kanter Freedom. When he becomes a U.S. citizen, Kanter's manager told the Associated Press that he will have his citizenship oath and at the same time legally change his name to Freedom. But, you know, the Boston Celtic has already updated his Twitter account, Freedom for All, it says, as he retweeted a report from The Athletic about his name change. And he has been real outspoken about China. Dean, look, we know that he's obviously putting a lot of money on the line. He's going to lose a lot of money because of his pushback on this regime, but he's like the only one in the NBA. From, you know, Nike is making sneakers there, even as we know, two administrations said that they're committing genocide with locked up Uyghurs.
I mean, when you look at someone like Kanter, when you look at the World Tennis Association, it's clear that you do have some people, some organizations who are willing to show the moral courage to stand up for what is right. But what is embarrassing is the silence, or in some cases, the open, outright opposition that you see from other people and other organizations. You know, the NBA, you know, people like LeBron James, you have to wonder what it is that they stand for when they basically tell someone like Kanter, you know, to be quiet, or when they ignore the complaints that the WTA is not willing to ignore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they stand for making money. They want to make money on the Chinese population, and they don't want to be blackballed because they know that's what will happen if they say anything wrong in China's eyes. Dean, we're going to continue to call it out on this program. We appreciate your thoughts this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.